Lewis County Commission just adjourned a few minutes ago here in the courthouse right behind me. And the agenda today, there was a public hearing regarding a grant, like you mentioned. Teachers say that they are doing this for themselves, but also for the students. Neighbors are basically frightened because of what's happening right behind me. The ground basically falling down. When Norma woke up this morning after those torrential rains, she says everything around her house didn't look the same, including this ditch right in front of it that she says it expanded. Now these residents say when a car drives by, it generates dust and dirties up their home. Everything they worked for. Las autoridades anunciaron el arresto de Caleb Moll, de 23 años, el sospechoso que se escapó durante una persecución policial el jueves. Officials from the city of Elkins drafted this proposed strategic plan that talks about public safety all the way to renovations. This has forced many parents to look for other options because during those days, they will see parking lots like this. Here with Marion County teachers, school personnel, and state employees who are trying to get their message across. Being an FBI junior special agent comes with a lot of responsibilities, right, Isabella?
Yes, it does.
Since I arrived to the park, many people have been trying to open these doors since the early morning. One of the residents at this meeting says that this gets so flooded when it rains that some cars get stuck on this pothole right here that is 17 inches wide.
We took them very seriously.
Gabe Devano, superintendent of Randolph County Schools, spoke with 5 News on Wednesday regarding an alleged incident involving a teacher.
Now, these allegations occurred approximately 7-8 years ago. Nothing recently.
Devano says the board received these allegations about a year ago. According to school officials, the alleged incident happened here at Beverly Elementary School, and now they say they're investigating. A group of parents and caretakers addressed the board on Tuesday night. They say this teacher would put the children in Frankenstein's closet, sometimes locking them up all day. At times, the kids wouldn't be able to go to lunch, and the teacher and her aide would beat on the door saying a monster was going to get them. This left many parents on edge.
We're tired, we're angry, we're upset, but more than that, we're disappointed that a school system would allow these things to go on like this.
Since the incident is under investigation, school officials couldn't comment more on the situation, but they say the teacher is still employed.
The teacher's still here.
Water levels across Lewis County left many in despair.
It was scary.
Douglas Ratcliffe lives on Broad Street in Weston and says he's never seen anything like this before.
A stream came out of the holler and it just had nowhere to go, so it found its course down the street and over on my yard.
The road in this neighborhood in shambles, and pieces of it ending up in driveways. It's been more than 12 hours since the rain affected the area, and as you can see right behind me, the water's still running down the road, and many neighbors say they've never seen it like this. It was just like a river, they say. On Tuesday, heavy rainfall causing problems to many in the area. A 5 News viewer sending us this picture of the road covered in muddy water, looking more like a lake. And in the heart of Weston, the road also with high levels of water. But that didn't stop drivers from going on the road.
I call it a river because that's what it acted like. I mean, it was almost scary the way it just roared down the street.
And in Jane Lou, was also full of water on Tuesday night.
Tuesday trouble, that's right. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that the weather next Tuesday is a little better.
On Wednesday, Jane Lou Park had some of the aftermath left on the field.
Here it comes again and floods everything.
But other areas were affected heavily for the first time.
On 4th Street, where it had not ever flooded in 30 years that one of the people's lived there, it's now flooding in basements.
All right, I'm making this video because I got beat, almost killed about a year and a half, maybe not even a year and a half ago, and he tore me up.
This video sending a message.
It's time for us to step up to the plate and make them stop.
Sandra Denham sharing her story on Facebook after the man of her dreams became her worst nightmare.
He moved in here, and then a month and a half after he started living here, this is when this happened.
And what happened to her is something she says she'll never forget.
I picked up a steel bar, was beating me in the head with it.
And it didn't end there.
He had the chainsaw and come around like that with it, and the recliner was right there, and the Afghan was laying there. Come down on it.
45-year-old John Kemper leaving bruises all over Denham's back, legs, hands, and the back of her neck, also opening up part of her head.
Sewed my head up, shaved the top of my head himself, and sewed my head up.
And he even hurt one of her dogs. But Denham says it took her days to finally let someone else know what happened.
I didn't want to show my mom these, but she wanted to see them.
And that's when she decided to tell authorities. After that incident, how long did it take you to tell the authorities?
4 days.
And her message?
Ladies and guys, to get out of the situation if they can.
Kemper was arrested once Denham told authorities. According to court records, he's serving 2 to 10 years in prison for malicious assault. For 5 News, I'm Francesca Constantini, keeping you connected in Barber County.